Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Spring 2023 College Essentials Q&A webinar. We are so excited to have you all here with us this morning and to welcome you to the Algonquin College community. My name is Samantha, and I'll be hosting this webinar today. So before we get started, everyone, I'm just going to go over a few housekeeping items. This webinar is being recorded and will be available to watch on the AC Hub on-demand webpage in the coming days. And we'll share a link to that webpage in the chat for your reference now. This webinar is equipped with closed captioning if you need it. To turn on closed captioning, please select the CC icon along the bottom of your Zoom toolbar. We encourage you to engage with your college community throughout this event today by posting in the chat. But when posting in the chat, please refrain from sharing any personal information, such as your home address or your student number, and always act respectfully to other members when engaging in the chat. We also encourage you to ask tons of questions. If you have a question, please post it into the Q&A tab, which can be found along the bottom of your Zoom toolbar. After every couple of presentations today, we will pause to answer a few questions pertaining to the topics that were just covered to ensure that we are answering everything for you. When asking questions, please refrain from asking things that are very specific to your distinct circumstances and/or that include personal details such as your student number. Okay, folks, so let's quickly take a look at the agenda before we hand the floor over to our college experts. So as you can see here, after every few presentations, we're going to pause to answer some of your questions out loud. Once all the presentations are complete, we will also open the floor up to answer any remaining questions that are left. Please remember to post all of your questions into the Q&A tab and not into the chat so that we don't miss any of them. Okay, folks, so we're going to get started with our first college expert. I'm now going to hand the floor over to Candace and Brandon from the Registrar's Office.
Hey, I'm Brandon.
I'm Candace, and we're enrollment service representatives from the Registrar's Office. Next slide, please.
So first up, we have Access. It's our learners' one-stop shop. It's a great idea to familiarize yourself with Access, as it's going to be one of the most important tools you use throughout your college experience. Next slide. First up is deferring your fees. You can postpone your fees for your upcoming semester right in Access. It's really helpful for returning students. Next slide. To view your timetable, it's to view your timetable for the upcoming semester. You view it right on Access. You just make sure you're clicking ahead to the correct dates and make sure that you've paid off or deferred your fees. Next slide. Changing your timetable, you can actually change your timetable all by yourself under drop add transfer function. It's a great function if you need to drop add switch a class, and if you can't, you can always reach out to your program coordinator to help you with that. Next slide. Printing your payment receipts. You could see the print your payments receipt buttons. Any payments you make, you can view or print them from here. Next slide. Printing letters. So students often require letters for proof of graduation, enrollment, and fees. You can download them right yourself from Access. If you need a letter that's not listed or you are part-time, please reach out to the Registrar's Office. Next slide. Resetting your Access password. Running late, need to see your timetable and can't remember your password. Don't stress, you can reset it right in Access. You just click the forget your password button under the password box. Worst case, you can also have your password reset over the phone by calling the Registrar's Office. Next slide. Updating your contact information. The college always requires students' most up-to-date information. You can update everything from email to your address directly in Access under the profile button under account. It's always a great idea to have up-to-date contact information on your account. That includes your email, phone number, and address. Next slide, please. External transfer of credit. So if you're looking to possibly get credit for the hard work you have already completed, submit your application in Access. This includes both internal and external credit exemptions can be submitted here. Next slide, please. If you go onto the link, the how-to, it has lots of good resources and videos to show you how to do some of the more popular things in Access. That's a great spot if you need some help. A lot of instruction videos and how-to guide for processes on Access. Next slide, please. Finally, there's some helpful links there. The link for Access, the academic calendar, which has a lot of great and important dates that you'll be using in the college, and also the registrar's office contact, and it has different ways to contact us. Thank you.
Okay, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Candace and Brandon. So next up, folks, we are going to go over to Gary from ITS.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gary, and I'm from the ITS at Algonquin College. A part of what we do is to make your transition to college a bit easier. We're here to support students for password resets, software installs, Wi-Fi, printer, and laptop and software troubleshoots, and much more. Next slide, please. One of the most important things you will need throughout your time at Algonquin is your network account. You will be able to find your network account on Access once you have completed your registration. To sign into Access, you will need to enter your student number as well as your date of birth. Once you have done that, you can then create a new PIN and a security question. For returning students who forgot their PIN, you'll have to give us a call or come in person so that we can reset your PIN for you. After signing into Access, look for the network account info under account on the top left-hand side of the corner of the page, and you'll find your user ID, password, as well as your email address. Next page, please. Once you have your network account credentials, you'll be able to use many of our services, such as your email, AC secure Wi-Fi, as well as Brightspace. When you are prompted to enter your user ID for the Wi-Fi, for instance, you do not need the @algonquinlive.com part. But for Brightspace, you would need to enter both your user ID as well as the @algonquinlive.com part. Next slide, please. For Apps Anywhere, which is a software delivery application where you have access to all your softwares that you need for your courses. You will be able to use the app from anywhere at any time for both Windows and Mac users without having to install any software. Next slide, please. For students who will be learning from home, we have some resources here to make your learning from home an easier adjustment. Please visit our knowledge base where we put together some answers to some of your most frequent questions. Next slide, please. Lastly, our hours of operations are from Monday to Friday at 7:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. Please feel free to give us a call, send us an email, or come in person for any technical issues that you may have. We are located in the basement of Building C, and we are happy to be able to help you or help support your needs. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, Gary. So folks, we're going to take a quick break here just to answer some of the questions that have been coming in the Q&A. And y'all have been great so far posting your questions in the Q&A tab, so good job. Keep that up, folks. We are here to answer all of your questions. So if you have any question at all, please post it into the Q&A. Okay, so I have a couple of questions here to get us started for the registrar's office. So Candace and Brandon. So the first one here is, can I change my college timetable?
Yeah, I think we kind of nailed this one in the Q&A chat. So you can change your timetable through that add drop transfer function that Brandon mentioned earlier in the presentation. And if for whatever reason it gives you a hard time or you can't make any changes or add or drop a course, you can always reach out to your program coordinator and they can help you out with that.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for that, Candace. And I think this is another one for you folks. So how do I update my name if it only shows my first and middle name? How do I update my name if I'd like to do that?
So 2 ways. You can, again, update your name on Access, like we mentioned earlier. You can also come into the registrar's office and we can help you update it here as well. If you would like your middle name to show up on things like your transcript and your credential, just make sure to include your middle name along with your first name once applying.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I've got one more question for the registrar's office here, guys, since I have you. Is the offer letter and the letter of acceptance the same thing?
Yes, I believe they're the same thing. So an acceptance letter is something you would receive to the college once you receive an acceptance on Ontario colleges once you apply. You'll receive it in a form of an email and as well as an acceptance package in the mail with lots of great information on next steps.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So I have a couple of questions for Gary from ITS. So Gary, this one is for you. So it is about Microsoft Word. Do students automatically get like a license to Microsoft Word, or how does that work?
So for all students who are full-time students, have paid their Bring Your Own Device program, as part of the Bring Your Own Device program and paid the tech fee, you will be able to use your email or your network account and sign into the digital resource portal, where you can install a free permanent version of Office 2019 or 2021. For students who don't want the 2021 or 2019 version, you can also use your email address, your Algonquin College email, to sign into office.com and install the Office 365 version. But that version will expire when you're no longer a student. So it's recommended to go over to the digital resource portal to install the 2019 or 2021 version.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Okay, folks, I'm just quickly looking through here to see if there's anything else that we can quickly answer. Let's see. I think we'll move on for now, folks. Thank you so much to Gary and Candace and Brandon for answering all of those questions. So next up, folks, we are going to hear from the IEC, International Education Center, Sue from the IEC. Sue, take it away.
Thanks so much, Samantha, and welcome to all of our incoming international students that are joining us today for College Essentials. We're so happy that you're with us and look forward to supporting you through your journey here with us at Algonquin College. On the screen, you can see some of our social media accounts that we have. We've got our website, we've got our IEC email inbox, Instagram. So please follow us on Instagram if you haven't already done that. Next slide, please. So the International Education Center has a wide variety of support to help your studies and your journey here with us at Algonquin to be successful. So perhaps you've already taken advantage of our arrival services. We have new intake support. We've been hosting webinars throughout the last week to help you be successful in your journey as an international student here with us. We'll also help you get settled. We have wonderful workshops that we offer throughout the semester. We support you with international student orientations, which I'll talk about a little bit later in another slide, both for academic programs and if we have any students joining us for the English for Academic Purpose programs. We'll also provide support with your IRCC documents if you need help with study permits, work permits, TRVs, anything related to your studies as an international student here at Algonquin College. We also have another person on our team that's here to support your health insurance journey. International students will have health insurance coverage through GuardMe. And if you need to change or withdraw from your program, we're here to support you in that journey as well. Next slide, please. We'll also offer support if you're struggling in your studies. So please, if you're having difficulty at the start of your term, it's always best to reach out in advance. Don't wait until, halfway through the semester. We are here to support you. And later on, you'll hear from various teams across the college that are here to support all students through their journey to be successful all the way to graduation. We have culture and social events, workshops. We're running social insurance clinics. So at the beginning of the semester, once you arrive here in Canada, if you need to get your social insurance number, you'll be able to do that right on campus. Next slide, please. So I just want to briefly talk about iSent. iSent is a great app that we have designed especially for our international students. It's a great navigation tool to have on your smartphone, and we send out push notifications, send out information, anything that we need to push out to our international students to let you know about upcoming events, or if you need to get support from our office. It's a great handy resource tool that we strongly suggest that if you have not already done so, that you download and take advantage of that product that we have for you. Next slide, please. So the other thing that we offer through our office is advising. So we do have 5 international student advisors. I'm one of the 5 international students. I also have a couple of my colleagues that are in the background answering questions for you today. But throughout your journey, you probably meet with one of the 5 of us. 4 of us are licensed immigration advisors. So we can, as I mentioned, help you navigate through IRCC, if you need to take a break in your study. So if you have any questions related to your study permit or any of your documents, you can always book an appointment with one of our advisors. We do advise or offer either in person or face-to-face appointments, so you can book and we can guide and advise you based on your personal situation. Next slide. So I just wanted to briefly mention, I'm sure probably some of you have been following the news, and currently IRCC are experiencing a labor disruption. So maybe as you're making your way to Canada, just be patient. You might have longer wait times with CBSA when you're coming in at the border. Again, a reminder, if you have not arrived in Canada, please, before leaving the airport, double check your documents that have been issued to you at the port of entry to make sure, your name and everything is spelled correctly on the documents. They are still offering online services, so many of these things will hopefully not apply to you because many of them are related to our students here currently in Canada that might need to apply for extensions. And we hope that this disruption does not last for a long time, but please, if you need support, feel free to reach out. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned earlier, we have our orientations coming up. So if you have not already done so, please either register for one of the following, either on May 1st or May 4th. They are identical orientation programs. You don't need to register for both, but they have lots and lots of useful information to help you get up and running and be successful in your classes here at Algonquin College. If you are an EAP student, an English for Academic Purpose program, the orientation will be held on campus face-to-face, and the date of that is May the 5th. Next slide, please. So we do have mandatory health insurance for all international students. There isn't anything that you specifically need to do. We will talk more in depth about the Guard Me policy, what's covered in anything. But just what you need to know, it is a mandatory health insurance policy for all international students. You will be enrolled automatically in the program. You will receive an email from GuardMe to the personal email account that we have on file. And just take a look at that and download your card that you receive. So just keep an eye out on your personal email to receive your GuardMe health insurance policy. Next slide. So again, it's in regards to the peer tutoring. As I mentioned, we offer 10 hours of free peer tutoring to all international students that might be struggling in specific courses. So if you find in the first 2 or 3 weeks that you're falling behind, please send an email to IEC support. We'll send you a document to get you started and to get matched up with peer tutoring so that we can help you in your studies to be successful. Next slide. So another great resource tool that we have is a course that has been developed for all international. It's called Succeed in Canada, and you'll find that automatically in your resources in your Brightspace account. Brightspace is one of the learning tools that you'll be using here with your professors at Algonquin, and later on somebody will be talking a little bit later about the Brightspace course. But there's lots and lots of great information about life in Canada, housing, immigration, and working in Canada, tips to be successful in your studies, grocery shopping, and financial literacy, and lots of other useful information. So please, if you have not already logged into Brightspace, that's a great thing that you can work on prior to starting your courses May the 8th. Next slide. And then just so you're aware, as I mentioned, we do have lots and lots of workshops, webinars. We have an IEC events calendar. You can find that directly through the iSent app. So I suggest you take a look at that, browse through all of the events and upcoming activities. And it's the best tip I could give you to be successful as an international student. Get involved. Get involved with your program, with all the awesome things that are offered at Algonquin. Work-life balance as a student will be the best thing that you can do to be successful. So along with your studies, get involved with any of the events that we're having on campus or throughout all the services at Algonquin. So I think that's my last slide, and good luck with all your studies, and we hope to see you at some of our upcoming events. Thanks, Samantha.
Thanks so much, Sue. Okay, folks, so I saw quite a few questions coming in from our international students. So Sue, if you wouldn't mind answering a few of them. And folks, like Sue said, there is an international student
orientation.
Thank you. I was searching for the word. Thank you. Orientation coming up. So please attend that if you're an international student. The IEC is so incredible. They provide so much assistance, so much information, and they can really, really help you get set up for success this coming semester. So make sure you attend the orientation. Make sure you follow them on Instagram. Just make sure you connect with them because they're super, super helpful. But we are going to ask a couple of questions here today. So folks, Sue and your team, I saw quite a couple of questions come in about study permits. So here's just an example of one that I saw. My study permit is up to March 2024, and my co-op goes until June 2024. Do I need to extend my study permit? So maybe just if you can give us more information about study permits, Sue.
Sure, I'll just briefly touch on study permits. So if you do have a current study permit and you have longer than 6 months validity on your study permit, don't worry about your study permit if you don't have validity right until the end of your academic program. The trick is with IRCC, you need to apply for an extension. Minimum IRCC says 1 month before your document expires, but our office recommends 2 to 3 months, just so you have valid status in the country. So you're nothing to worry about. You have a valid study permit that's good until 2024. One thing I will mention, if we have any international students that perhaps were maybe studying at a different designated learning institution, not Algonquin, but you're coming to Algonquin for the first time, there is an expectation that you need to change your DLI. So change it to Algonquin. Again, we will help you, guide you through this process. If we also have maybe some international students that haven't arrived because you're still waiting for your study permit approvals, I'm sure you should have received many emails from our recruitment team. But just please make sure to keep them up to date as to when you receive your approval from IRCC, and then make your way to coming to Algonquin. And it's my understanding that you have basically the first week of classes. So classes start May the 10th. So there is May the 8th. So there is a deadline for your IRCC, but you should have received emails on who to connect with.
Okay, thanks, Sue.
So I just want to add in, because so I see a lot of questions about study permit or SIN number. I just want to mention that I already shared in the Q&A and the our chat about international student orientation, because most of the questions will be covered in detail in the international student orientation on May 1st or 4th if you are an academic program student. So please do attend that, because you will have most of your questions answered, and you will have opportunity to ask the questions at the session as well. So I will share again in the chat. So just to for all the international students to know, this one of the session of international orientation is mandatory. So you need to attend that to have basically a smooth start of your studies at Algonquin College as an international student.
And just to reiterate as well, I mentioned about the service disruption with the government. So we strongly advise that international students do not go to Service Canada locations. This is why we have invited them to come to campus. So please check our events calendar. They're coming to Canada or coming to campus specifically for international students and to issue your social insurance numbers. So all you need to do is show up on one of those dates, bring your passport and your study permit. And as long as you have the comments that say you're eligible to work on or off campus, you will be issued a SIN number right on the spot. So just to mention that again.
Okay, that is a super important point, folks. Make sure to attend one of the International Education Center orientation. It is mandatory, and because of the strike, you really need to attend one of these to ensure that you are all set up for the upcoming semester. So make sure you attend. Okay, folks, and yeah, thank you so much, Sue. Okay, folks, so I saw quite a few questions coming in the Q&A about May 8th. So the first day of the semester, which we call ACE Day 1. I actually work on the events team here at the college, so I can speak to that actually. So ACE Day 1 is a day where we celebrate and where we invite all students come to campus to celebrate the first day of the spring 2023 semester. So that is taking place on Monday, May 8th, 2023, coming up in like 2 weeks. Oh my goodness, coming up so fast. So folks, what we recommend you do is make sure that you attend your program orientation first. Your program coordinator should have sent you an email to your Algonquin College email address detailing when that orientation is taking place. So make sure you attend that orientation first, and then we recommend you coming to all of the activities and things happening on campus that day. We have a ton of cool programming and really fun stuff happening that day. So go to your program orientation first, and then come and experience college life at Algonquin with all the activities and events happening that day. And then also, how are we going to be notified with upcoming events and workshops? So the AC Hub, I will plug the AC Hub here. We have a ton of events with the SSS, Algonquin SSS Student Support Services. So we want you to follow us on Instagram to keep up to date with all of our events. So please follow us on Instagram at Algonquin College SS. And you will see all of our events and our events page and all of that there. Also, the IEC, they've already mentioned this, they have tons of events as well, super important and helpful for international students. And they will post their Instagram page in the chat for you to follow. So if you're if you are an international student, follow the IEC on Instagram, and everyone should follow Algonquin College SS on Instagram. Okay, folks, so after all of that, thank you so much for hanging in. We are covering a lot of stuff, so we really appreciate you folks and how engaged you are being. So we are now going to move on to campus services. So Megan, I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, Sam. Hi, everyone. My name is Megan. I'm going to be telling you all about campus services today. Next slide, please. So here's a brief overview of what we do. We like to remember it by saying eat, shop, print, park, live, because there is so many areas that campus service covers, including food and conference services, retail. This is our campus store here behind me, and that's where you would get all of your AC branded apparel and all of your course materials. Print services, we do have a full service print shop within the campus store, as well as our printer fleets across campus, parking, lockers, and card services, and then residents as well. Next slide, please. So card services, the first step to getting your student card, which is what we call the AC card, and then your UPass, which is for transit, taking the bus and LRT trains. The first step is to upload your photo online, and this can be done through our website. I did already see a few questions come in about I've submitted my photo, but I haven't heard anything. My colleague here, David, has just put the link to our website in the chat, and there is a contact form on that site, or you could email photoid@algonquincollege.com if you're not sure. We typically suggest about 48 hours from when you upload your photo to when you're planning to pick it up. So if you want to pick up your cards the first week of school, then you should submit it by probably Friday, May 5th. So yeah, as I mentioned, the UPass you can use on all the buses in Ottawa and Gatineau and the LRT trains. Once you have your card, it's valid on May 1st. So if you already have it, it's just not valid yet. But once it's past May 1st or on May 1st, all you have to do is tap it when you're getting on the bus, and then it's valid for your whole term. The student card has a variety of functions on campus. You need it to borrow books from the library. You need it to get into the athletic center. You can add money to it to pay for printing and things at the store. There's all kinds of different ways you can use your card, and there's more information about that on our website. Next slide, please. Next, we have food services. So we have a variety of locations around campus. Over the spring summer term, we'll have the Marketplace Food Court, which is in D building, the Fix, which is in ACE building, and then Tim Hortons will be open for May and June as well. You can find hours and more information over on our website. Next slide, please. Next, we have the campus store. As I mentioned, your one-stop shop for apparel, school supplies. We do carry laptops here at the store if you need one, and just a variety of things that you can find here. We use a software called Booklist to get your course materials for students at the Ottawa, Perth, and Pembroke campuses. So what that means is essentially it's a customized list of all of your books that you need based on your timetable. So you'll log in using your Algonquin network username and password, which is found on your Access account. And then from there, you can view and purchase your course materials directly online. Either choose to pick them up in store, we have shipping, or you can just come in store and our staff can help you shop as well. And then if you're an AC online student, we have a search by course function on our website where you just input the course code from your timetable into the campus store website, and it will help you find your books. So Booklist will tell you what's required or recommended. Of course, required ones we do suggest purchasing. If it's recommended, you can wait till the first day and chat with your program coordinator and maybe get a better sense of how much you'll be using the book. I did see a question about I only need it for 2 weeks. Can I print it? There is some copyright issues about copying textbooks. There's a limit on how much you can copy them. I'm not sure on the details on those, but there are some books in the library. Again, I'm not sure which specific titles are there, but you could go in the library and look if you just want to borrow it for 2 weeks, that is an option. And then if you need any support with course materials on AC Day 1, we will have a table outside the store where you can come seek help, and you can always ask our staff at any time, and we're happy to help you. And then our email is just there as well, campusstore@algonquincollege.com. Next slide, please. Next, we have printing on campus. So you do need a student card to release print jobs on campus. The print balance is valid as of May 1st. So once you have your student card after May 1st, you can start printing. We do recommend installing Mobility Print. It's an easy way to send documents from your laptop, your phone, your tablet to the printer, and then you just need your card to release it. There are how-tos and frequently asked questions over on our website with more information. And again, if you need any help, our print staff are always happy to help. Next slide, please. Parking at the Ottawa campus. So there's a variety of options that you can choose. So we have some spring annual permits, which are purchased online, and then monthly and weekly and daily rates. So depending on what kind of parking you're purchasing, some of them are online through the parking website, like the permits and the monthly, and then daily rates would be through Honk mobile app. And you can find more information on our website. All of it's digital, so there's no physical permit. Whichever way you choose to pay for parking, it's your license plate and vehicle that are registered. And this time of year, we do really like to recommend sustainable transportation where applicable, depending on where you live and of course the weather. So things like biking, rollerblading, skating, using your skateboarding, sorry, using your U-Pass to take the bus, or even consider carpooling so that you're just not using as many cars. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, we have 700 bike parking spaces on the Ottawa campus, and there is a map of those on our website as well. The green little box in this picture here is just outside of Student Commons, and it has basically all the tools and gadgets you need to repair your bike on the spot, which is really handy. Next slide, please. Next, we have locker rentals. So some programs have equipment, for example, the culinary management program, or some other programs where you're carrying a lot of things around. A locker can be really helpful to store your belongings safely between your classes, and you can purchase them directly on Access for about $21 per term. They don't come with a lock though, so we do ask that you either bring your own lock to secure your belongings, or you can purchase them at Connections, the campus store, once you get here. Next slide, please. So I think that's all I have for today. Here's our main website with information about all of our services. I know David's put all of our links in the chat there as well. And our email is campusservices@algonquincollege.com if you have any questions. You can also find us on social at AC Campus Services, and we're always happy to help. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, Megan. Okay, folks, so I just wanted to plug the campus store. If you are on campus, make sure to check out the campus store. It is such a great spot. There are so many awesome little items and cute things that I always buy. Spent way too much money there, but it is a really cool spot on campus. So make sure if you're on campus to check that out. So thanks, Megan, for sharing all of that information. We are now going to move on to Kelsey from Academic Success.
Thank you, Samantha. Next slide, please. There are so many people and supports available to you during your studies at Algonquin College. Each role has a focus on the different types of questions they can answer. I'll go through some of them now. Next slide, please. Specifically, I'll describe the roles of your academic advisor, your student success specialist, your program coordinator, and the student integration officers. Next slide, please. Your program coordinator is a faculty member in your program and can help with any program-related questions. If you drop a course and need to understand how that might impact your program moving forward, they would be the best person to connect with. Next slide, please. Your Student Success Specialist, or SSS, is there to help identify services that might be useful to you and help connect you with them. If you're thinking about withdrawing from your program after the first 2 weeks, or are facing some challenges with your studies, reach out to your SSS to discuss your options. Next slide. Your academic advisor is usually a faculty member in your program and a subject matter expert in your field. They can help you decide on academic goals, make a plan to achieve your academic goals, and discuss your options after graduation. If you have any questions about a career in the field you are studying, your academic advisor is a great resource to go to. Next slide, please. Student integration officers, or SIOs, can help with a variety of questions and refer you to the right department when you're not sure where to turn. You can drop by our office in room C037 or submit your questions online. Next slide, please. You may have noticed a course called AC Cafe in your Brightspace account. You can self-enroll in this course to access lots of information and activities that will help you prepare for the start of classes. While we call it a course, it's not graded. It's just an opportunity for you to find out some important information about college before you start your semester. Next slide, please. The different modules in the AC Cafe address a variety of topics such as Algonquin technology, understanding your timetable, navigating the Ottawa campus, and more. Next slide. Program orientation is a great opportunity to meet program faculty as well as your classmates. Valuable information is shared during orientation about your program, as well as how to access services such as picking up your student card. Check out the orientation website for updates on when and where your orientation session will occur. Next slide, please. Thank you. And for more information, you can visit our website at algonquincollege.com/academic-success or by emailing academicsuccess@algonquincollege.com.
Okay, thanks so much, Kelsey. We are now going to hear from Elizabeth from Health Services.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Algonquin College. We're very happy to have you here. Well, I'm Elizabeth. I'm the Health Promotion and Education Coordinator, and I'm going to talk about health services. Next slide, please. Thank you. Well, health services is a primary care clinic, and it's available to all current students and staff. We are located in the C building, first floor, on room C141. Our hours of operation are from Monday to Friday from 8:30 to 4:30, and here is our phone number. Next slide, please. Thank you. So in health services, we have doctors, we have nurses, we have a mental health nurse, and also we have a psychiatry clinic in partnership with the Royal Ottawa. And also, of course, the health promotion team. And I'm going to talk about that in detail later. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. Well, basically, those are some of the services that we provide. If there's an emergency on campus, you can reach out health services or you can call 911. If you are uncertain of what to do in case of an emergency, you can come to health services and we can help you to connect with other institutions if it's required, right? Or after hours, you can call 911. You can have general health appointments. We can provide you with general health referrals to a specialist and also TB testing and immunization for your program placements. We can also provide flu shots or allergy injections. But also we have different tests like pap test, blood test, STI test, birth control, etc. As I mentioned before, we also have a mental health nurse and a psychiatry clinic. And for the health promotion, we have different events and workshops about the pillars of health. Next slide, please. Well, this is very important. In order for you to receive medical attention with health services, you need to register yourself as a new patient. So you go to Algonquin College Health Services and you will fill out 2 forms. Once that you fill those forms and you submit them, you will receive an email from us indicated that now you have a chart number and that you can call us to book your appointment. The day of your appointment, bring your health card. It could be OHIP if you are a domestic student, or it could be GARDNI. You also need to bring your student card, right? And then you can book your appointment with a doctor, a nurse, or a mental health nurse. We also have walk-in consultations available, but it's ideal if you can book your appointment so you don't have to wait a lot to receive the medical attention. Now, if you are going to do a placement and you require immunizations, it is very important that you gather this information. So what does the academic program require? What does the placement require? And when does the placement start? And also take into consideration that probably you will need a series of dosages. So take into consideration that you need to wait a certain amount of time between them, because if you wait until the last minute to have them done, probably you won't have enough time. So my advice is that you can register right now as a new patient with us, and then in case you need it, you can book your appointment. Next slide, please. Thank you. For the health promotion, we have different events and activities. Next slide, please. And basically, we can help you to balance your academic life with your general health and well-being. So we have events and activities and workshops about general health, mental health, sexual health, fitness and nutrition, harm reduction and substance use, and sleep hygiene. Next slide, please. And here are some of the examples of the activities that we have. Every Monday, we have the lunchtime yoga from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Next slide, please. We also have the Purple Couch. The Purple Couch promotes mental health. So basically, every time that you see the Purple Couch, we will be there to listen to you in case you want to share something with us. And also you can receive different resources to help you to improve or maintain your mental health. Next slide, please. And also we have this new activity, it's called Time for You. And basically every week we will have different activities to talk about self-care. And I think that it's my last slide. And also I'd like to take this opportunity to answer some of the questions that I saw on the chat about dental clinic. If you want to receive if you want to go to the dental clinic, then, and if you are an international student, you can go to the student association and you can upgrade your insurance. If you are a domestic student, just go to student association to verify that the dental services is included, okay? And also, I saw another question about family doctor. You can go to health services and you can receive medical attention there with your Gartney insurance. And I think that's everything. I think that's all for me. Thank you so much and welcome to Algonquin College.
Okay, thank you so much, Elizabeth. That was so helpful. Okay, folks, we're just going to do a quick couple of questions here and then move on to our next couple of presentations. So I saw a lot of questions coming in about will this recording for this meeting be posted. So we are recording this webinar today, so you can see it in the coming days on the AC Hub On Demand webpage. And to view the recording, we'll post the link to that in the chat now. So it is being recorded, so don't worry about taking notes. You can watch it over and over again if you need to. Okay, folks, so we are now going to move on to Sophia from the Students Association. So Sophia, take it away.
Thanks, Sam. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Sophia, and I'm a marketing officer at the Students Association. So today I'm going to fill you in on all of the services that we have to offer. Next slide, please. Our mission is to create an environment that inspires a passion for student success. We're here to help you with anything that you may need. Next slide, please. Here at the SA, we have an elected board of directors made up of full-time students that serve as your voice to the college administration. The board of directors regularly connects with students on campus to learn all about their wants and needs during their time at Algonquin College. Next slide, please. On this page, you'll find your board of directors for 2023-2024. The board is made up of 5 directors, Haley, Sierra, Jasper, Kashish, Braden, and Riley, as well as our president, Abigail, and vice president, Nishant. Next slide, please. The Students Association puts on a number of events throughout the year, from large-scale concerts and carnivals to smaller trivia nights and more. Keep an eye out on our social channels to stay up to date on all of our upcoming events. Next slide, please. The Jack Doyle Athletics and Recreation Center is our new building on the Ottawa campus. This brand new facility has so many great features, such as a rec and varsity gym, circuit and free weight training area, group fitness classes, accessible machinery, a climbing and bouldering wall, a discovery track, and as well as the Woolsden restaurant and games room that includes pool tables, golf simulator, and 10-pin bowling. Students who are fee-paying members of the Students Association have full access to all ARC facilities for free. All you have to do is complete and submit your one-time waiver. We also have varsity sports such as men's and women's basketball, soccer, volleyball, and rugby. If you're interested in playing for one of these teams, you can find the coach's information on our website and contact them directly. We also offer intramural sports, which are non-competitive sports that you can play against other students. We offer sports like ball hockey, indoor soccer, basketball, volleyball, and open badminton. Next slide, please. We have great food and drink services on the Ottawa campus. The Woolsden is our restaurant located inside the ARC. Aside from fresh house-made menu items, the Woolsden also features a games room. Once again, don't forget to sign your waiver to use any of the ARC amenities, including the games room. This is where you can reserve the pool tables, golf simulator, and 10-pin bowling lanes. We also own and operate a Starbucks on campus located in Student Commons if you're looking for an energy boost before or after class. Observatory is currently closed for the spring term, but will reopen in the fall. It is an excellent place to join your classmates for lunch between classes or attend a student event like pub trivia. All Students Association food locations accept student meal plan. Next slide, please. A great way to get involved on campus is becoming a class representative. Class reps are students from each program that bring academic concerns forward to our board of directors. Elevate your students' experience with clubs and communities, a place where all students are welcome. Find your passion or bring one to life right here on campus. Stop by the club space to hang out with friends, make new ones, play games, and more. Next slide, please. We offer a number of different services on campus. The Food Cupboard is a discreet and confidential support service that provides students who are experiencing financial difficulty with food and other basic necessities. We also offer online housing ads for any student looking for a place to live off campus. We oversee the health and dental plan for full-time domestic students. This plan covers dental care, prescription care, vision care, mental health support, and more. Plan details can be found online at algonquinsa.com. Funding can be provided for students looking to host graduation parties or to bring in guest speakers. And in addition to this, we also have a number of different meeting and silent study rooms on campus that you can reserve. Next slide, please. The Algonquin Commons Theatre is our 800-person theater located on the Ottawa campus. This theater hosts a number of different types of shows, from musicals, comedians, concerts, and even dance shows. Some past acts include Nelly, Machine Gun Kelly, Simple Plan, and more. Next slide, please. The Pembroke campus has a fitness zone, a 2-story rock climbing wall, a gymnasium offering the same intramural sports as Ottawa. The Landing is our licensed lounge on campus that is also used as an event space. Next slide, please. The Perth campus has a fitness center with similar services offered as the Ottawa campus. Next slide, please. On May 8th, join us in the Algonquin Commons Theatre to welcome the spring 2023 semester with a bang. Preston, Pablo, and Rev are coming to Algonquin College's Ottawa campus for a show you'll never forget. Student tickets are priced at only $15. Make sure to grab your tickets today at algonquinsa.com/events. We'll put the link in the chat as well. Next slide, please. Make sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook and Twitter to get the fastest information about Algonquin SA events, updates, job opportunities, and more. Next slide, please. And if you're a Perth or a Pembroke student, be sure to follow their campus-specific accounts. And that's it for us. Thanks so much for your time and best of luck this school year.
Okay, thanks so much, Sophia. I just wanted to say, check out this really cool concert that's coming up on ECA1, folks. It is Spring Lodge concert with Preston Pablo and Rev. So definitely check that out. That's going to be so much fun. And that kind of ties into ECA1 and all the questions that have been coming in about that. So remember, go to your program orientation first, and then check out all of our cool events and activities happening throughout the day, and then end your day with a really cool concert at the Algonquin College Commons Theater with the SA with Preston Pablo and Rev. So it's going to be a really awesome day and I'm really excited. So thank you so much for sharing, Sophia. Okay, folks, we have one more presentation left before we open the floor up to more questions. And our last presentation will be by Stephen from Experiential Learning.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Stephen Gagne, and I'm with Experiential Learning and Innovation. Just looking at the chat, I'm happy to see so many IMD students. I'm an IMD grad myself, a very proud grad of this college. And I'm going to talk today about 4 departments all rolled into one. There's been a whole bunch of questions in the chat that I'll try to get through as I go, but let's jump into the next slide, please. So experiential learning is actually made up of 4 departments. We have applied research, innovation and entrepreneurship, co-op, and employment. So the questions that I come up about of those various things, I will try to answer as we go through this today. Let's start with applied research. So applied research is a very interesting thing that we do at this college, where we give students an opportunity to work on real-world projects with outside entrepreneurs. Now, in some cases, these are large businesses. Some cases, these are government agencies. But in a lot of cases, these are small businesses who are coming to the college for practical solutions and want to work with our students. Many of you are in programs that will have a capstone project or a final project, and this will be done through this office. We also hire outside of that from time to time students to work on standalone projects. These are research assistant positions. They are paid positions, and many of them do eventually lead to long-term employment. There's actually a couple of businesses incubated here at the college that hire almost exclusively outside students from applied research projects. So if you are in any of the tech-centered fields, there is likely to be an opportunity coming your way in the next little while. As part of that as well, on the innovation and entrepreneurship side of things, we do have 2 spaces in the college that I'm particularly partial to because that's where I work, and that is our makerspace and our entrepreneurship center. And through those 2 centers, we give access to anybody on campus, whether they are students or recent graduates or faculty, if there's any of them in the call as well, to access to all kinds of equipment like 3D printers, laser cutters. We do have some electronics equipment in there as well. Through our makerspace, I like to describe it as a place where people can walk in with crazy ideas and walk out with awesome things. So if you are feeling particularly creative, curious, or really just want to dive into something, our makerspace is open to you. Also through applied research, at the end of every term, we hold a big event called Reaction, where we give our students a chance to show off their work to industry. I like to think of that as the biggest reverse job fair in Ottawa, where employers are coming to see you at your best. You'll hear more about that throughout the program. And then finally, if you want to commit to something a little bit smaller or are just feeling curious, there are several workshops that pop up throughout the year on topics like design, coding, creativity, business. Now, some had asked whether we have an incubator. We do help businesses in the early stages through both of those 2 centers. And then finally, in those spaces, there is some software and some tools that can be rather expensive to purchase and sometimes have a steep learning curve. We will definitely help you get ready for those things. Next slide, please. Where I saw a lot of questions coming in was about co-op and how you get into co-op. I'm going to talk a bit about co-op, but I would honestly say if you have co-op specific questions, your best bet is in your program orientation. Your program coordinator should talk about what co-op looks like in your program. It is slightly different from program to program. Some do more terms, some do them at different times throughout the semester, but your coordinator will have that information. So on day 1, definitely talk to them about it. Now, co-op is different from placements. Co-op here at the college counts for academic credits. You do get a mark for doing this. It is also paid if you have a co-op term. This is a full-time paid position working within your program of study. Now, we find that a lot of people going through co-op here at the college do end up working either in that job or in a very similar job within the same industry. So for this is, those of you who have a co-op option, a huge thing that is definitely worth pursuing. I myself actually was a co-op student. This is still my co-op job, and I've been at this for several years. So I do highly recommend that if co-op is an option to you, talk to your program coordinator day one, or keep the conversation going a little bit later in the semester about getting into co-op. This is an excellent opportunity. And as you can see here, 90% of students do definitely recommend doing this. I am one of that 90%. Next slide, please. And then finally, once you graduate, or when you're getting close to graduation, and you want to, as most people do, get out into the real world and start working in the field, we do have support for that through the Career Center, the newly branded Career Center, where we can do things like look at your resume, do a practice interview with you. Interviewing can be somewhat terrifying, and we can kind of take some of that terror out of it. We can also help with job searching. If your resume isn't getting to the interviews, maybe we can get some coaching on how to make that a little bit stronger. Some of you may know the tech industry right now is going through a bit of an upheaval. We can offer coaching on how to get around that. And I think one of the biggest and honestly least used services, but one of the best ones, is looking at your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn is where a lot of people find their jobs now, and we can definitely help make that LinkedIn profile stronger. And like most of our centers, there are a number of workshops coming out. There are several places you can get information for this. I will throw some of them in the chat a little bit later, but you can find most of that through either algonquincollege.com/co-op, algonquincollege.com/employment, or algonquincollege.com/ARIE, which is Applied Research, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. Thank you very much. That is my last slide.
Okay, thanks, Stephen. So folks, we have finished all of our presentations for today. However, we are going to answer some questions out loud, and a lot of these questions may have already been answered in the Q&A tab. However, we want to answer them out loud so that everyone is on the same page, and so that we ensure that everyone understands the answer to those questions. So my first question here is, and this one has been asked quite a bit. And before, I'm not sure, Stephen, if you're still there, but this one is about co-op. So how do we apply for co-op if we have chosen a co-op program? Can you quickly talk about that before you hop off here, Stephen? Okay, I think Stephen has hopped off here, folks. Thank you for that. So folks, this one is about the AC card. So once I receive my AC card, will I be able to go work out in the ARC right away? So this may be for the Student Association. So once I receive my AC card, your AC student ID card, will I be able to go work out in the ARC right away?
So if you're a full-time registered student, all you have to do is go to our website and sign your ARC waiver. ARC waiver is mandatory and only takes a few seconds. You can sign it once and never have to do it again. Once you've completed your waiver, you have to stop by the ARC, and inside the ARC, we have a welcome desk right at the front. All you have to do is just activate your card and you're good to go. You can use the gym right away.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Sophia. Okay, so I believe this one is for the IEC. And I know we talked about this, but let's reiterate it. So it's about our SIN numbers. So where and how can I get my SIN number?
So we are running SIN clinics on campus. They start on, let me just bring up my calendar. I think it's May the 4th. So May 4th, May 5th, we have, and then we've got 3 more days the following week. The SIN clinics are held between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. You do not need to book an appointment. You just need to come between the hours of 9 and 3, bring your passport, your study permit, and as long as you have the comments issued by IRCC stating that you are eligible to work on or off campus, they will issue the social insurance number for you. So please either check your iSent, the dates are on the events calendar, or attend orientation, and we will be talking about the SIN clinics there. But again, please do not go to Service Canada office because of the work disruption currently.
Okay, thanks so much, Sue. And Sue, would you just quickly share what dates the orientation are taking place again?
May the 1st and the 4th. So those are the ISOs if you're starting a new academic program. And just to confirm, this is for academic students starting studies at either Ottawa campus, Perth, or Pembroke. If you happen to be a new incoming international student for our program at CDI at the Toronto campuses, you would receive information directly from our colleagues at CDI in regards to the orientation you should be attending. And then for English students, it would be on the 5th on campus. The other two are mandatory, so please either just register for one, either on Monday, May the 1st, or Thursday, May the 4th. And my
Okay,
colleagues
awesome.
have
So
put that in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah. I already
And
put
are-
that in the chat.
are they virtual or do you have to come to campus?
Yes, they're virtual. Both of them are
Okay.
virtual sessions. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you
So
so
the-
much.
So the students can attend either in Canada or outside Canada because of the IRCC strike. There might be students still waiting for their study permit, but they can attend the orientation virtually outside Canada as well.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, folks. Okay, folks, so this one I believe is for the registrar's office. So will my classes be offline or online? So virtual or in person? How do we know?
Great question. It kind of depends on what kind of program you applied for. So did you apply for a full-time online program? In that case, your classes would be all online. If you applied for like a standard in-person program, there's a couple of different things on your timetable that could happen. So either if you see a room number, it's safe to say that that class would be offered on campus. But if it says hybrid, I would connect with professors or program coordinators just to see it could be either offered virtually or on campus.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Candace. Okay, folks. So my next question here is, how can we get a part-time job on campus? Are there job opportunities that we can apply to? I feel like this would be maybe for campus services or the registrar's office. How do we get a job on campus?
I can start if you want. So there's a few different places on campus that hire students. So we do hire students here in the store and in our food services locations and on our print team. However, those opportunities typically come up in the fall when campus is a bit busier. So I would recommend keeping an eye out towards the end of August, just because we just are less busy this time of year. But when I don't have student jobs, I always send them to either the AC Hub or Students Association. Students Association also hires a lot of students in their food services and at the ARC and all of those things. So I would keep an eye out on Hire AC as the job board for Algonquin College students, but not all of those jobs are on campus. So I would really just say keep an eye on social media because, like I said, there's different areas and they all post them in a different place. But I'm not sure if anyone else wants to jump in on this here. Feel free.
I was just going to say, Meg, definitely there's a position called Student Navigator at the AC Hub. So we hire students to kind of navigate other new students around campus and be kind of the face of Algonquin. So you can find that again at Hire AC. So just Google Student Navigator or Hire AC on Google, and there are tons of jobs that you should be able to find. We are always looking for people. So definitely check that out, folks. If you're looking for a part-time job, there's also a lot of jobs close to campus. We have a ton of stores, a ton of food locations that are always looking to hire. So very close to campus. So don't worry, you will find a job if you need one. Okay, folks, we have a few more questions here that I'd like to get answered. So let's see here. Let me just take a look. And I really appreciate everyone posting their questions in the Q&A. Okay, Meg. So this one is for you, Megan.
Oh, Sam, before we get to the next question, David has his hand up. I think he wants to speak about the jobs.
Oh, yes. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, I was just going to add to what Meg said there. The higher.ac.ca is where you're going to find the majority of your campus jobs. So if I was a student, that's where I'd be taking a look. And that's also for co-op jobs if you're in a co-op program and you access that through Axis. So once you log in there, you scroll down on the left, you'll see employment and co-op services, and you can click in there and review the jobs, review them early and often, and you can apply usually right through there, or if not, they'll have the employer contact details.
Okay, thank you so much, David, for clarifying. Okay, folks, so I saw a question here that I thought was really interesting, and this one is for campus services, so Megan and David. So my UPass works for all the buses in Quebec. If I live in Quebec, do I need to use the bus pass, or can I use my UPass?
Yep, so the UPass works for all STO buses in Gatineau, all the OC Transpo buses in Ottawa, and the LRT trains. So you can go back and forth between each, and that's because we know we have students who live over there or are visiting over there for social activities, and it's unlimited trips between May 1st and the end of August. So yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Megan. Okay, folks, so we're going to answer a couple more questions here before wrapping up this morning. Let's see. So this one is for ITS, and it is about Wi-Fi. So how do I log on to Wi-Fi? And do I need like a password, or how does that work? Can you explain that to us, Gary?
Yes. So for the Wi-Fi, you just need your network account information. So when you log into Access and you click over on network account info, you see your username as well as your password. So those are two pieces of information that you need to connect to the Wi-Fi. So the Wi-Fi would be called AC Secure. Once you select that, it'll ask for the username and password, so you can just enter the information from your network account info from there.
Okay, thanks so much, Gary. Okay, and Gary, this one might be from you, for you, but it might be for someone else, I'm not sure. So can we borrow a laptop for our program, or like if we need that kind of technology, where do we go? What do we do? How do we access like a laptop if we need one?
Okay, so for ITS, we are able to lend a laptop to full-time students who are in the Bring Your Own Device program, as well as pay their full technology fee and is not encumbered, so you don't owe the college any money. And it's only when your laptop is being repaired or if it's being shipped to you. So once all that condition is met, we can lend a laptop to you. But if you only need your laptop for maybe a day, you can also go to the library and they're able to lend a laptop to you for a day.
Okay, awesome. Thanks so much, Gary. Okay, folks, so I think we have time here for a couple more questions. So this one, I believe, is, let's see, maybe again for Gary, I'm not sure, but it asks, what are the laptop requirements for my specific course? So how, I guess the general question would be, how do I know like what I need to update my laptop with for my course? Would that be through one of the college departments, or maybe through my program coordinator? How would I know that?
So there is a link to different programs, and they have the requirements for different laptops that is required for the programs. And I think my colleague posted on the chat, so you can just click on that and look for the specific program that you're in and see what the requirements are for that course.
Okay, thank you so much, Gary. Okay, this one is there anything that I should bring to school other than myself or my stuff on the first day of college? So folks, again, I just want to reiterate for ACD 1, we really recommend you go to your program orientation first. So make sure you check your Algonquin College live email address. Make sure that you read the email that your program coordinator may have sent you about the details of your program orientation. So go to that first, and then we want you to come to all the activities happening on ACD 1. And again, the essay is having that big really cool concert in the evening. But before that, we have a lot of activities happening throughout the day. So go to your program orientation and then come to all of our events and the concert if you are able to. So if you are going to bring more things other than yourself, you can rent a locker, and maybe we can have Meg speak to that in a second. But if you would like to rent a locker throughout the semester, it's super helpful, especially in the winter when you have all of that heavy gear like boots and a jacket. In the spring, you may still want it for all of your books in your backpack. But Meg, can you tell us how, if you would like to rent a locker, what that process is like and how you do that?
For sure. So it's super simple. When you log into your Access account, on the left-hand side, there's an option that says, I think, locker rental. And there's sort of two ways to do it. You can either ask Access to assign it for you based on your timetable and where your classes are, or you can choose your own location. If you decide that there's a building that you're always in and that's what makes the most sense for you, you can choose that one. So in the spring, it's helpful for things like if you're biking to school and you have a helmet or a change of clothes because it's really warm that day, or even just storing your lunch between classes. So yeah, it's directly on Access. It's about $21 per term, valid for the whole term, May to August. And then you have to bring your own lock, and it's very simple and easy. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Meg. Okay, folks, so we have a ton of questions that have been answered in the chat here that I can see. But I think we're going to wrap up for today because a lot of them have been answered in the chat. And again, if you are an international student, they are having an international student orientation coming up in a few days, very soon, so coming up very quickly. So make sure you register for one of those. But I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that attended today. We are so very happy to welcome you to the Algonquin College community. But if you have more questions, feel free to reach out to the specific departments. We are here and we are happy to help you with anything that you need. And we just want to say welcome to Algonquin College. We are so very excited to have you for the 2023 spring semester. Make sure, if you haven't already done so, to register for AC Day 1 activities, which are coming up on Monday, May 8th in like a week and a half. Oh my goodness. I am very excited. We have a ton of really fun activities and events happening. Remember, like I said, attend your program orientation first and then come to the activities afterwards, and make sure to go to the concert in the evening if you are able. So we are so excited to welcome you to Algonquin College. Welcome, everyone. And finally, don't forget to visit algonquincollege.com/orientation to complete your online prep before the first day of the semester. And we will share all those links in the chat for you now. So keep an eye on them now in the chat. So again, thank you so much, everyone. We are so excited to welcome you to Algonquin College, and have a great rest of your day. Bye, folks.